Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Zuzi on the track.
Creepers, creepers, where'd you get those creepers? Creepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Gosh, y'all get up, how'd you get so lit up? Gosh, y'all get up, how'd you get that night?
What's poppin', go up? King Affairs here. So I'm here to review RWBY Volume 5, Chapter 1. So we start off kind of lighthearted. RWBY's talking about only one of us almost died, referring to Crow when he got poisoned. I think that was pretty funny at the start. It was pretty lighthearted. We get to see Mistral when they see the city of Mistral, and Mistral, ooh, it's such a beautiful city.
And might I add, those beautiful ass people.
Weiss's pilot, he's, in my opinion, he's pretty like a douchebag. But to be fair, he's really just doing his job. You know, he's riding a cargo ship, and you're not really supposed to be going out there trying to help people with a cargo ship. He's just trying to get from point A to point B with his cargo, and his cargo right now is Weiss. Not saying those people, it's Weiss. Nora, she's funny as always. Gotta love her. Little female Thor, if you ask me. The gang, Team Ranger plus Crow, they get to meet Leo Lionheart, and in a pretty humorous way, you know, both Crow and Lionheart fall down as Crow kicks open the door. It's pretty funny. We learned that they left the relic unprotected, which honestly is kind of dumb. Doesn't matter how much staff you have around, you have to keep that relic protected, whether it be in your own room or whatever. Later on in the episode, we see that Sun Wukong and Gara Belladon, you know, Papa Blake, they actually agree on their frustrations with the White Fang, which is surprising because those two seem to definitely have like counteracting characters, you know. We get to see Blake Belladonna's sexy ass guard, if you ask me. Sister Ilya and Blake, they argue. They want Blake to leave, but Blake says she's gonna have to force her to leave and all of that. That her plan to stop the White Fang is not gonna work. Whether or not that's true, we'll see later on. Lionheart, he comes off as kind of uncooperative, but he has good reason, you know. His kingdom is in chaos due to all the grim, all the negativity that's floating in the air, bringing in more grim to the city, to Mistral. And I guess that's why all the staff are out, which means they can't do further raids and missions. We find out that the 4 maidens are the only ones capable of reaching the relics. The relics are each locked in a chamber that can only be opened by a specific maiden. That means there's winter for the gift of creation, we have summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge. Now the Spring Maiden, she ran away under pressure of all her duties and power and how necessary she is, and she got picked up by the Brandwood tribe, you know, Raven, you know, where Crow used to be from. Crow happens to have the location of their camp, and he's ready to retrieve the maiden. But Lionheart, he puts it off for a couple of weeks, saying this isn't something prioritized by the council. Like, bandit raids are apparently not a high priority despite it being for the maiden. Lionheart actually gives slight confirmation or full confirmation, depends how you want to look at it, that Crow and Raven Brandwin are equally matched. And for this reason, he says that if they were to attack their camp, Crow and Raven would be evenly matched. They could cancel out each other. But Lionheart and the students of Team Ranger would not be able to fight the rest of the camp, the maiden and the whole rest of the tribe. Leo, we see that later on, after RWBY gives her final goodbyes to Leo, not final goodbyes, but her goodbye to Leo, is that Leo is actually taking commands from Dr. Watts, one of the henchmen that is on Cinder's side. Later on, we see that Oscar, he meets Crow. We already seen that part from the preview. He gets his staff back, his cane. Click back to Yang now, and they get a reference of Goldilocks, talking about how the stranger is complimenting Yang in a kind of seductive fashion, saying that she is dressed right, just like in the Goldilocks fairy tale or poem or whatever it's from. And then Yang, she knocks the stranger out for trying to touch her hair. Don't fuck with Yang's hair. And he pinballs across the room, the building, out the door, like it's a goddamn cartoon, and I guess it kind of is. And she gets free water for kicking that dude out. As she reaches for the water, she still has troubles using her hands. She's like shaking, kind of like some Doctor Strange shit, if I don't know if you've seen the movie.
As Yang is about to leave, the stranger gives Yang a tip on where Raven Branwyn is, just the person who she is looking for.
Oscar meets Team Ranger, and they stand up in defense, ready to fight him when he asks for Ruby Rose. Crow, he's drunk. He comes in with Oscar, and Oscar mentions Ruby's silver eyes, and the entire team is wondering, what is this little boy doing over here? And then Oscar says, my name is Oscar Pine, but you probably know me as Professor Ozpin. So now the gang that's in Mistro now consists of Team Ranger, that's Ruby, Nora, John, Ren, Crow, and now Professor Ozpin, but like to a weaker state, because I guess he still has to train to fight and all of that. But I imagine that he'd be able to learn quickly because he has all of his old memories from past reincarnations, I guess you could say that, or past lives, kind of like the Avatar, kind of. But yeah, that's my review of this episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I know that they mad 'cause I'm bubbling like beer from home. I got that